All right, welcome all. This is Igor, and today is a different kind of video where I'm going to explain how I use my Elgato Stream Deck for ACC. So, why do I have Stream Deck? I started with a rather small and inexpensive wheel that didn't have many buttons, so I wanted some buttons, and I got a basic version of Stream Deck, and you can see it here. It's Mark II, and it has 15 buttons, and that's the one I've been using, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's mounted next to the steering wheel and seems to do the job. So just want to show what kind of macros I have set up specifically for ACC, just to give you an idea of what's possible, and none of it is particularly groundbreaking or innovative, so I'm sure there's more you can do with it, but this is what I have, and it seems to work rather well. So what you have, you can see my Stream Deck window. That's the configuration application that you use. I've tried to capture my actual Stream Deck, but couldn't set up the camera, so you just have to do with the virtual screen. You can set up different profiles with the device, and I've got a special profile that activates when ACC is active, and it basically has the buttons that work within ACC. Let's have a look as to what we have in here. First of all, the cool shortcut that I really like is the the ability to quickly punch in my favorite online lobbies for the multiplayer search function. These are pretty much the only two that I go to. So yeah, if I press the football button, I need to focus into the search box. It just types in football and presses enter, and then I can jump into the service that it brings up. If I want to go to the OOR service, I press the OOR button, and it only gives me one server. Well, there's really going to be no there's nothing other than Bathurst. Oh well. So that's basically what happens within the multiplayer screen. All right, so let's keep going. I've got the left and right indicator buttons here, and I'll show you once I get in the car. These three buttons are the four buttons are the streamed OBS controls. This button controls the fan that I have next to the rig to keep me cool. Ignition button and the start engine sequence. So let's jump in the car and I'll show you what these do. Let's go single player and go to wet Zolder. Let's see if I have a setup. I don't have a setup. Oh well, default where it is. Cool. So the button that I use the most, literally like the one that I use 90% of the time, is this start sequence. So when I press this button, I need to be focused in the game, so I'm pressing it now, although you can't see it. So when I press this button, it turns on the engine, turns the ignition on, turns the engine on, engages first gear, and turns on the bit limiter. So pretty much from here I can just press gas and set off. Let's quickly exit out of this. So that's that one. I'm just going to press it again and start the engine. I'll turn the engine off again. So the cool thing about this this particular plugin that I use for Stream Deck is that it has the it gets the state from SimHub, which gets it from the game, which means it knows when the engine is on or off, and so it changes from green to red on the actual device. Same as you can see in this window. So if I turn the engine off, I've just done it with the button on the wheel. You can see that it's gone from green to red. So I'll turn the ignition on again. Alright, so what else do I have? I've got the indicator buttons. Sometimes I bind them on the steering wheel. Sometimes I just leave them on the Stream Deck. I don't use them that much. Used them yesterday in the Enduro, and I bound the steering wheel buttons. Although that was just a lot of thinking, way more thinking that I was able to do in the wet Bathurst race. So anyway, so I'm just going to press one of the indicators, and you can see that it's gone red in Stream Deck, and you can see the indicator flashing in the MFD. So that's that. I've got some OBS controls in here, so I can switch between different screens within OBS. So I'm just going to do the Be Right Back screen, and it will show a little splash screen, and obviously the webcam will disappear and sound will be muted. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm pressing the BRB button, and I'm back. And the second most used button is this OBS record button. So when I hit that, OBS does the recording, and that's how I do any kind of clips that I post in Discord or do quick upload to YouTube. So when I press that, it starts the recording, and it'll generate a video file, puts it into the videos folder. Happy days. Alright, and you press it again to stop recording. So this is using a deep integration with OBS. So again, it knows what's going on, and it's able to show a little animation that it's that something is happening. Cool. So the last thing on this screen is the adjustment buttons. So if I show the bit MFD, so I've got a button bound on my wheel. What I can do is I've got this +10 and -1 buttons, inspired by, I think it's the Mercedes F1 wheel. So when I press +10, it will actually send, I think it's the right button 10 times to increase, to basically simulate you hitting the +- button 10 times. So if I wanted to add 10 liters, I just press 10, and you'll see that it adds 10 liters. And then if I want to do decrease one, I can just press the -1 button. And the other thing that I've done for -1 button is if I press and hold, it does -5. So let's just show it again. So I've done +10 a couple of times, and then I'm going to press and hold -1, and it does -5. So that's pretty much it on this screen. So I'm just going to hit this button in the right corner, and that goes to the next page, and it cycles through the pages on Stream Deck, so it has different functions. So as you get to the third and fourth screen, they're less used functions, but sometimes I use them. This is pretty much a shit posting screen, so I've just got a few soundboard things on here. So that uses the Stream Deck soundboard. So I just got a file for that particular one. So if I press that,
Cow.
it will emit a particular sound. And this is the infamous bison sound. a whole bunch of other ones. There is a button here for sending chat messages that only works in multiplayer, so I won't be able to demonstrate them. They don't work particularly well because of the way Stream Deck sending button feature works. They kind of skips some letters and that doesn't work very well. Alright, so let's keep going. What else is in here? Alright, so this is the other screen that's actually quite interesting. This uses the Stream Deck SimHub plugin, and it knows what traction control or ABS settings are, and you can adjust them from here. Again, I typically don't tend to use that during the race, but you can do that if you don't have real estate on your steering wheel. So I'm just going to hit up so if you can see the traction control set to 8. So if I can press down button, you can see that it changed in the Stream Deck button and went to 6 and 7, and the same thing happened in the MFD. ABS does the same thing. Traction control 2. Oh yeah, Bentley doesn't have TC2, so that's why it's empty. Cool. Let's keep going. What else is in here? Oh yeah. If you ever used a there's this restart repeat a corner hack that I've used a bit when I was training for Nords or practicing Nords. That's basically a macro that it's a macro that does a whole bunch of key presses to exit out of the game and restart the last game save, allowing you to do one corner at a time. Hey Tim, hey Lucas. Zolder is wet, what are you talking about? Alright, so let me show you what else is on here. A whole bunch of other stuff that's not very interesting. But this restart thing is kind of cool, and if you want to practice single corner at a time, you can do that. Hey, what? Zolder is no longer wet? Fantastic. Well, anyway, I'm not practicing wet Zolder. I haven't done a single kilometer on that. Alright, so let me show you what this restart thing looks like. See if I can get it going. So this only works in single player. I don't think I've actually been in the pits at Zolder. Alright, so I'm just gonna press save. This only works in single player. Hey Marshy, hey Lucas, hey Tim, hey David. So I'm just gonna save this, and this saves it to the single player save games. So I'm just gonna quit out of this. And go to the saved games, and this was my save from previously. So now I can try this corner again and slide out massively. Oh yeah. Alright, well this can do with some improvement. Probably not the kind of performance you want for 24 hours of wet Zolder. Okay, so now is where I'm going to use the macro. So I'm going to press this restart thing, and what happens is it presses the buttons for me, and it has a series of button presses and delays to basically simulate going back to the menu and going back to the last saved game. Wow, that was the same line. Amazing. All right, let's try it again. Why is the Zolder no longer wet? Did people get their little outfits wet at Bathurst and are too traumatized? Wow, look at that. Hit the apex. I heard hitting the apex is really good for sim racing. Okay. Anything else that I've got in here? I think I've gone through all the functions. All right. I'm going to end the stream here and just keep it as a little walkthrough if anybody's interested. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for letting me know about the Wed Zolder. I'll catch you in at another time.